We're with Coach Julie Heisey from the SPU women's basketball team. Falcons getting ready for a couple of big home games this week against St. Martin's in Western Oregon. Saturday night will be senior night, and four big seniors for the Falcons who've played a huge role this year. Aubree Callen, Betsy Kingma, Suzanna Ohlsen, and Maddey Pflaumer. Julie, let's just talk about them one at a time. Let's start with Aubree. Nasty knee injury last year, and she's playing better than ever this year, it seems like.
Well, before I answer that, I think for those four seniors, I've never had a group of four seniors that have had this much adversity. Every one of these kids have had a surgery, and that doesn't happen. And then just being in situations where, the last 2 years we've been inundated with injuries. And so you have to find ways. You start off 10-2, and then you have these injuries in conference, and you just have to find ways to persevere. And so I think part of what has made our kids really strong right now is because they've gone through so much adversity. They've learned how to be resilient. And I think they've shown a toughness that says, you know what, we're not going to break. And I think that's part of our strength right now. But yeah, Aubree, I think Aubree's amazing. Aubree is an amazing leader. All four of these kids are high achievers. But, Aubree doesn't know anything but the best. And that's her goal, is she wants to be the best, and she's always going to give you her best. And she's able to live up to that standard every day. And then I think she has the ability to make those people around her better, because she's good with her being a vocal leader, and then she leads by example. And she's just a smart player. You can tell she's going to be a coach. She understands things, and sometimes she thinks a little bit too much. She wants to create shots for others when she has a wide open shot. But anyway, yeah, and Aubree, you're not the only one that says it. Even Carmen Dolfo the other day said that Aubree's come back quicker than she was before after having knee surgery. And, we were in Oregon last year, and she was 2 months out of surgery, and she was jumping off of boxes and onto boxes, and I'm just like, what? And then we found out she was a month ahead of schedule. She shouldn't have been doing that, but she just attacked rehab the way she's attacked everything else. And, she had a torn ACL, but every day she was doing ball handling and she was doing chair shooting, and, she just wanted to be the best, and she wasn't going to waste any time feeling sorry for herself.
Okay. Betsy Kingma, great boost offensively, and then really stepped up defensively this year for you as well.
Betsy does a lot of things that people probably wouldn't see. Obviously, it's easy to see a three-point shooter, but Betsy's a really, really tough kid, and you wouldn't know that unless you were just with her. But last year she had a stress fracture or stress reaction in her foot, and she had to play with a lot of pain. I remember, I'll never forget this, and she laughs about it too, but, she dislocated her arm in practice, and she just sat down and said, help me, and then she came back and played, and she wasn't scared, and even one time we thought she broke her nose, and she's back in there, and that toughness, we call it the Kingma toughness, but she's pretty tough, and that goes a long ways, and she doesn't want to get beat, and that's why she's a good defender. And, we can put her against Aaron Chambers, and we can put her against Taylor Peacock or, Colliard, and those are great players in our conference. And Betsy wants that challenge, and she takes it personally if she gets scored on. And she's not very big, but she knows how to block out really well. But Betsy's a fighter, and, again, she's an incredibly hard worker. She has high, high standards for herself, and she's a great teammate. She's really sweet and thoughtful. And but she wants to win, and she knows what it means when we're playing a big game. It doesn't matter; she just wants to win.
Suzanna Ohlsen, and you look at a great player, and they make their teammates better. But you said of Sue that she can influence the other 9 players on the floor, and not many players can do that.
Yeah, when Susanna's at her best, and she's really determined. There's no question, offensively and defensively, she changes the game, and she's just. Susanna's a delightful player to watch, and she's a delightful person to get to know. But when you watch her on the floor, it is. Offensively, she can do so many things. She has a beautiful pull-up jumper, and she's good at it. And she has a nice three-point shot, and she's good at it. And she can get to the rim, and she can get her own shot, or she can give a shot to get a shot for others. And she just, she was a great player coming in, but she's just become so much better. And then defensively too. this year it's nice because we have some people, Jordan and Stacy can kind of tag team in for her, but she can change the game defensively, and we've been in many games where she's got a steal late in the game, and it just opens things up. And then, I think she's learned to become a really good rebounder. We've had several games where she's had 7 and I think 1 9. But when she gets the board and she can go, there's no one that's going to catch her. And but yeah, I'm really proud of Susanna. I mean, every player has to come in and grow, but Susanna is a self-starter and she works incredibly hard. But she doesn't always want to tell people what to do. And at the point guard job, you have to learn to speak. And she's learned to become a really good leader, and she's a great encourager. And she too is very determined and just wants to be the best. And there's nothing more than all of our seniors want this year to get to the national tournament and to do well.
And finally, Maddey Pflaumer. Maddie's had a number of injuries over the years, but she battles, and comes back, and she's having her best year in an SPU uniform this year.
Well, Maddie, bless her heart, she's had more injuries than any player, maybe other than Lexi Shar. But Maddie's dealt with a lot of injuries in her freshman year. She didn't, she was all gung-ho to play, and then we found out she had 2 stress fractures in both of her legs. And even last year, she was doing great, and she tore her meniscus in December and had to play with a lot of injuries, got a couple concussions, and she just never got going. And, Maddie and I had that conversation. Maddie, do you really want to play your senior year? If you don't, I understand. But she did, and I'm so thankful that she did. And she's worked really, really hard. She's overcome a lot of adversity, and it's hard to keep doing the right things when you don't always get the reward. And, there's a verse in Galatians where it says, don't grow weary of doing good, because in due time, you do reap what you sow. And I'm really proud of Maddie because she's sown some really good seeds in the midst of a lot of discouragement. She hasn't given up. And she's just, she's so good off the dribble. She's such a great rebounder. She's good at the post, and she's a really good passer. She can do so many things well. And I love it when she's on defense. I tell the girls all the time, well, she's still here to learn from her because she's really vocal and she's intimidating with her voice and with her body on hedges and things like that. But as much as Maddie can be fierce on the court, Maddie's a big lover, and she's a great encourager, and she's a sweetheart and just knows how to be everybody's friend and pick people up. And I don't know, we got a special group of seniors.
It sounds like you got just a whole lot of different pieces that each of these girls brings to the table.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Coach. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.